aren't just contracts. They're really a pathway to a thriving freelance grant writing business. Take it from me, take it from Gwen, take it from Peyton, take it from Grace, take it from so many people in the Freelance Grant Writer Academy. The retainers have provided them with a steady income, strong relationships with their clients, and the freedom to help more organizations achieve their missions and really be able to even just double down on a few organizations, but get a lot of grants. If you want a sustainable, profitable freelance grant writing business, there's only one strategy that you absolutely need to consider: retainers. So one of the biggest questions we get overwhelmingly inside the Freelance Grant Writer Academy is how to price services. Now, how to price services is a good question, but really what you're trying to get at is what is the method of pricing, because it's not just an hourly price, but it's really the method of how you price. And that is going to be a game changer. Hi, my name is Holly Rustick, and I'm the CEO of the Freelance Grant Writer Academy. We help aspiring and seasoned grant writers replace their full-time income on flexible hours writing grants from home. Be sure to subscribe so you get information on all our amazing content. All right, so what are retainers? Let's first say retainers are powerful. They give you consistent income, deepen client relationships, and let you focus on your favorite part: writing winning grant proposals. If you only get a package to write 3 grants, they're kind of burning their money, right? You really want a long-term package. So how long should a retainer be? At least 6 to 12 months. 12 months is ideal, especially with grants, because sometimes a grant opportunity will only open up once a year. Plus, you need more time to be able to submit more grants, and by and large, many grants only open at certain times during the year. What is a retainer agreement? A retainer is a contract where a client pays you a recurring fee. It's usually the same one every single month, and usually it is monthly. I do recommend monthly, for a set number of hours or deliverables. It guarantees that your clients have dedicated access to your grant writing expertise, and it also gives a nonprofit or organization that you're working with, that your client, a budget, so they know it's not going to be changing so much every single month. And plus, you don't go into it going, okay, it's going to be $30,000 for the year. You say how much it's going to be per month. So that can actually reduce friction because it sounds less as well. So why are retainers a freelance grant writer's best friend, right? Why are they? Let's give 5 reasons, and I'm going to give you some case studies as well so you can see. One thing is easy. It's cash flow. It's predictable income. You know what you're going to get every month, and they also know what their budget is as well. And plus, you're not chasing sales every single month because you know you have a retainer, and really you might only need 2 clients to make $5,000 or more per month. And you'll know that you'll have recurring income for months. This has helped Peyton in the Freelance Grant Writer Academy scale up to $300,000 in a year because she had recurring income on retainers. And she didn't have to constantly sell her services or not know how much she would make on an hourly amount or all of that, right? And this also gave her safety because when she started in the academy, she was actually working in a full-time job and she was used to predictable income. So that is like the most kind of like job-like that you'll have is when you have retainers, because you have this consistent recurring income coming in, very similar to a job. And that can just feel easy and nice for you as well. And then you can also figure out, like, if a contract is going to end in 2 months, you have time then to do more marketing, to either renew that certain client again, right? Or to find a new client. So it's very, very good. Reason number 2, long-term relationships. Retainers foster trust and repeat business. Gwen in the academy, and she's now a co-coach in the academy, she's like goes drive when people come visit her in New Mexico. I love this. She's like, I drive them around and I'm like, that building right there, I got that building. That bridge right there, I got that bridge. And what she means is she wrote the grants to get those things funded. So she loves being able to, not just do this tour of what she got, but also it builds those relationships in her community where her community knows that she's also helped be able to secure those things through grants as well. And not only that, but you really get to know your clients really, really well, right? If you just worked with them and did 1 grant, you don't really know them that well. But if you're working with them for a year or more, if you do renewals for your retainers, then you're able to know their programs inside and out. Your grant writing gets faster, all of the things. All right. Number 3, focused work. You can set hours each month where you actually know, because you're having that recurring work, because you've already built out your scope of work or your hours, you can already plan for that and put it in your calendar. That can be especially advantageous to those of you who have little ones running around at home, or you're taking care of a parent or a grandparent or something of that nature. And you do need flexibility in your schedule, but you also need to schedule some things when the kids are at daycare or whatnot. You need to have that focused work. So you can already put those things into your calendar because you have those retainers. And that was just like Grace, who booked just 2 part-time clients as a freelance grant writer so she could stay home with her kids, yet she still earned $56,000, and that was more than her previous full-time job. Number 4, this is a little bit like the last one, but it's on the lens of the nonprofit or the organization that's your client. They see you as priority access, and they really see you as their grant writing department in many ways, which can benefit you. So instead of them coming to you, so if you're not under retainer, they could kind of still see you like that, but then all of a sudden they're coming to you and you don't have time in your schedule because they haven't booked a retainer. They might have a question and you're like, I can't get to that, and it's just super distracting. But when you actually have a retainer, once again, that relationship that you have with a client, they have more priority access to you. You also have some flexibility in there to maybe update your scope of work. If a federal grant closed down this year and you had that in your 12-month contract, maybe you could work with your client and say, hey, let's go ahead and submit for this foundation grant, or I can build out a corporate sponsorship for you instead. And you can still deliver services that are a little more flexible because you have that access to you, right? And you're always thinking about that client. So that's really a huge benefit for them, for your mind to always be on thinking about them. How do I get them results? Because if they're not under contract, you're not thinking about that. And number 5 is scalability. You can get your clients so many more grants. You can do so many more things and maybe branch out into these other funding assets like the corporate sponsorship or something else because you have been working with them. You have all of their knowledge. You really know their programs. You can really scale up, right? You can really scale up and do amazing and get amazing results for your clients. The ones that you have on retainer, you're going to be able to get the most results for, which will increase your confidence and also get the word out about you so you can secure other clients. So that helps save your time, especially if you really get to know a client. Even if you're utilizing AI, it makes sense because you'll have so much content from that one client. So your grant writing actually becomes a lot faster as well. Many freelance grant writers in the academy say that because they just switched to retainers, they automatically reduce their time writing grants and they increased their pay just because of the method of how they did it. Even if they didn't change their hourly rate, but because of how this method is set up, they immediately started earning more money and reducing their time and setting up more systems. This has also helped them build so much impact in the cause areas they care about, so they can write more grants for those cause areas as well. So how do you structure a retainer agreement? Here's a simple structure for this grant writer retainer. A scope of work could include something like a grant prospect report, a master grant template, proposal writing, and maybe reporting. And you would put an average number of grants or assets. That would be if you did a scope of work. Some people do hours or deliverables, so they could define how many monthly hours or proposals. We do prefer scope of work, but if you are newer, sometimes hours is better because you'll underestimate your time. But overall, mature contractor is more on scope of work. Payment terms. Okay, the monthly fee, as we mentioned, is really, really good. You have to have your due dates in there and any late fees. We recommend that you actually have your first payment upon signing the contract before you even start work, and then it's monthly from then, right? Every 30 days from then. If you don't receive a payment within so many days, you actually stop work. And that can alleviate not getting paid for work that you've done. That can just mitigate the whole thing from the beginning. So easy. Duration, agreement length, and renewal terms, right? So right away I mentioned 12-month contracts. I love having. Some people have 6-month retainers. Some people are really scared to go into the 12-month and they have commitment phobia. And what I recommend for that is actually you have a 30-day or a 60-day out. Some people even have a 90-day out. So either party wants to cancel the contract, they still have to put another 30 or 60 or 90 days, whatever you want to define in the contract. So both parties have time to close out all the business and also to find another grant writer or another client as well. And that just alleviates them to be like, okay, if we need to get out, we can. Pitching retainers to clients. So highlight the benefits of having a dedicated grant writer. And remember, grants really do only open at certain times throughout the year, many of them. And your ability to really grow the nonprofit and be with them is going to be well worth it. Retainers aren't just contracts. They're really a pathway to a thriving freelance grant writing business. Take it from me, take it from Gwen, take it from Peyton, take it from Grace, take it from so many people in the Freelance Grant Writer Academy. The retainers have provided them with a steady income, right? That cash flow, strong relationships with their clients, and the freedom to help more organizations achieve their missions and really be able to even just double down on a few organizations, but get a lot of grants. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bells for more tips on building a successful freelance grant writing business, and we'll see you next time.